Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Mary Di, and I'm here to give you a progress. And I'm actually recapping for yesterday because I did not get on to do my video for yesterday. So as I'm getting ready for work, I'm gonna be very short and sweet because I got to be on to the office this morning. I actually work in the office 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week I work at home. So this is one of the 2 days that I actually go into the office. So I have to make up time for that. So I'm just going to be trying to be as short and sweet as possible. But just to get a short recap for anyone who's just watching this video for the first time, I have a lot of videos starting back from this month related to self-discipline. And all it is that I am focusing on improving self-discipline by progressing on some goals that I've set out. And so I'm going to set these goals each month. And so for the month of May, I have a set of 6 goals that so far I've been making progress on. And you can see it in the previous videos to this. It's easily to get to if you go to my YouTube channel. You'll see the videos listed on their own. And then also if you click on the playlist, you can actually see that I've put together a playlist that puts all of these videos on one stream, and you can just go down and play them, and they'll play in the order that I've uploaded them. So today I'm here to give you progress on how I've done so far on Monday, May 19th, on each of my goals. So stay tuned, and please remember to comment, like, and subscribe if this is your first time here. All right, so my May goals, I'm just going to go ahead and show them all. There's a total of 6. The first one is to earn $2,000 from a supplementary income. Second goal is to pay off a Chase credit card, which totaled out to be $13.84 at the beginning of this month. Third goal is to lose at least 10 pounds. My starting weight was 239 pounds. Fourth goal is to start a SQL course on Microsoft to advance my programming skills. Fifth and sixth goal is regarding studying, meditating, and reading and implementing self-discipline in all areas of my life. So on my first goal so far this month, the first week I've earned $370. The second week I've earned $369. And then did I say third week? The first week, second week, the third week I've earned $373, which brings me down to this week. So these last 2 weeks, I have to earn $886.93. Well, again, just kind of recap for the ones who weren't here to the other videos, where on the 10th, of course, that was Mother's Day weekend. And then this past weekend, the 17th, I actually attended a wedding. And I have videos regarding those budgets. I created budgets for each of those weekends to help with my finances and stuff like that, just being a little bit more proactive. So needless to say, I was coming back into town on the 18th, so I did not actually earn any money. I did set out to earn money today, but I did not. For whatever reason, it just did not pan out. So my goal is to push forward for the rest of this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and hope that I can get that at least 443, I would say $444 that I need this week at least, if I'm going to divide it by 2, that remaining balance amount, in order to reach my $2,000 goal. And then this chart here helps me to see, how much money I've earned on this venture so far for this year. So I could see the month of May, or the month of March is the closest that I've came so far this year to earning $2,000. So I'm hoping I can make that difference in between this week and next week to get me up here to at least $2,000. So stay tuned to see if I actually reach that goal. So I've already made one payment on my Chase credit card, which brought my balance down to $922. And on the previous video, I've already marked out the fact that I didn't make a payment on the 17th. And I'm planning on combining these 2 final payments. I'm going to hopefully be able to pay off this whole remaining balance. But I bumped it to May 22nd because even though Wednesday, my paycheck actually drops at midnight. So that's actually Thursday morning. So I bumped this to Thursday. I'm going to do my budget because I have some things later on in this slide that you'll see that I'm implementing in my budget now. And I'm going to be here to share it with you guys once I have that drawn out and drafted out I'll share with you guys how I'm implementing this new thing within my budget. So my plan is that on May the 22nd, I'm going to pay the remaining balance. So that means I will have met this goal before the end of this month and before it accrues more interest. Because if I wait to after the 25th, which is when my payments are due each month on this card, it's going to have some interest that I'm going to have to pay just for that balance going over the due date. So my goal is to pay that off before the end so that it can be down to zero and I don't have to worry about any interest. Losing at least 10 pounds. So far, I am all the way down to 232 pounds, and you can watch my weigh-in videos or any of my other videos. I kind of go into detail about, my journey on losing weight. And this is not by far my ultimate goal. This is just a starting point. So 10 pounds is a reasonable amount of pounds to lose within a month. That's on average 1 to 2 pounds a week. And so each month I'm going to keep going until I actually meet my goal. And actually I would have to, my overall goal weight is actually losing about 30 more pounds and 30 more pounds, about 60 more pounds to get me under that 100 mark. My intermediate goal is to at least be under 200 pounds. Like that's the first part that I'm focusing on is getting my weight under the 200-pound mark. And then after that, I can work towards my final weight goal is to be in the range of 160, somewhere along there, at most 160. So far, I only have 3 more pounds to lose to meet my goal for this month. And I am trying my hardest with my activities. I go to the gym in the morning, which I actually got coming from the gym now. And I'm having to go and take a shower before I get ready for work this morning. So I don't want to spend too much time. Now, this goal, if you've watched all of my other videos or if you've even watched a previous video, this is one of the 6 goals that I haven't made much progress on. And in the last week, I was brainstorming. Okay, I started this on May the 4th. I did pretty good starting module 1 for this particular course on Microsoft. I did pretty good starting it, but I didn't continue it for any of that second week, any of that third week until this week. From last week, just knowing that I wasn't making progress on it, even though I've met this goal by starting it, I had to put into a strategy. I had to make it a part of my routine. So what I did was I actually had blocked out the first hour of my work time at work. And that first hour, once I get in, I'm going to be working on the SQL course. So I actually completed module 1 and I actually started module 2. And because I have these hours, I'm going to actually share with you guys the website so that you can kind of see the time frame that it has. So here is the website again, showing you of my SQL progress, because I'm so proud of myself, because for this whole month, as I said before, I have really been struggling with continuing this, even though my goal was set to start it. And again, just for anyone who might be watching for the first time, this is something that I've actually started some years ago in 2023, but I never did finish. But since it's one of my goals now, I actually went back through them. I started all the way over. So it shows that there are 6 modules and 3 of them completed, but actually I'm actually now just completing the first one. I completed the first one, which had 9 units. And so you can see that the first module should only take an hour and 1 minute to complete. And so by me having the work routine like I do, where I'm spending the first hour of my work each day on education, which will start by including completing this, I should be able to finish this by next week, because this first module is done. Second module is almost done. Just have 41 minutes. So tomorrow I should be able to get that done within the hour, and I'll start on module 3, which is an hour and 2 minutes. Module 4, which is 50 minutes. Module 5, which is 59 minutes, and Module 6, which is 56 minutes. So I only have 5 more to do. So with today being, that means that I will, yeah. So I'll have that done. And then I didn't include the weekend, but I actually could. I just did it during my work schedule, but I actually could dedicate an hour of time on the weekend as well, and I could have it done by the weekend. I could wake up early because actually on the weekend I don't normally go to the gym. I go to the gym at 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday. So actually on the weekend I could wake up at 5 and spend 2 hours of time on, and I actually need to do my schedule again. I need to go through my schedule and kind of revamp and readjust. So I just want to show you guys this so you can see, yay, I don't finally make progress on that goal. So by me sharing this, I'm hoping it shows that not always will the goals go as planned or the way that you would perceive it to be. Sometimes you have to readjust, re-strategize, implement a new plan. If that first plan isn't working, find a way to make it work. So I was just wanting to share that website with you guys as I continue. So I'm happy I did not give up because I actually finished module 1 um, today, and then I also started on module 2. And then if all goes as planned, I should finish module 2 on tomorrow and start on module 3 tomorrow, and then so forth and so on. So I'll be on my way to completing this goal. I'm so elated, or actually going beyond what the goal says, because the goal says to start sequel course, and I've already done that. I started it on May the 4th, just did not continue, but I'm so glad that I'm actually now able to continue it. Goal number 5, read, study, and meditate on discipline. I want to kind of revamp some of these resonating statements that I've journaled in my notebook. So the first one talks about the importance of self-discipline. This statement was pulled from the Power of Self-Discipline book that I purchased on Amazon. I shared it in another video, and I've also got it linked below if you would like to see. It's less than $20 on Amazon, or at least it was when I purchased it. And then they also have a fabulous group on Facebook that you could join and be encouraged by some others who have read the book or are reading the book. So the author wrote that with self-discipline, the average person can rise further than intelligence and talent alone will take them, and the ordinary person can become extraordinary. On the other hand, an educated, talented person without self-discipline will rarely rise above mediocrity. So to me, that resonated with me because it shares with me that I am I consider myself to be very intelligent and talented with a lot of skill sets. And and for me, this statement is just warning me that if I don't get a grapple with my self-discipline, if I don't improve my self-discipline, I could be intelligent, I could be talented, but somebody that's just average and might not be as intelligent or talented as me could go further in life than me, just based off of them having discipline. Like your work ethic, discipline can take you very, very far. And then if I don't have self-discipline, it'll hinder me. I'll be hindering myself from rising above mediocrity. And I don't want to be a hindrance to myself at all costs. Hopefully nothing will be a hindrance to me, but I know in life things will be a hindrance to you. But I definitely don't want to be a hindrance to myself. So that's that first statement that I jotted down in my journal. Then the second week, I did a little research online and I was studying more about behavior, routines, and habits and how to establish them. I even have a video that's dedicated towards this, as well as the previous statement. I have a whole video dedicated towards that as well that goes in more detail about it. But just to summarize it, everybody has behaviors. I have my set of behaviors, things that I do, how I behave, how I act, the actions that I take from day to day to day, depending on the circumstances that I interact with or come in touch with. Out of those set of behaviors, there are certain routines which includes a series of my behaviors that I have established for myself. Either it's happened naturally or it's something that I had to really take some time to plan out. For example, I have let's see, if I have a natural routine, sometimes it's hard to think of those things because it actually happens so naturally. But um, I naturally wake up in the morning, brush my teeth. I have my certain things that I do in the morning time when I'm waking up. It doesn't take me too much to actually get those things done because it's just a routine. I have a routine of um when I actually cook, I have a routine of cleaning the kitchen prior to cooking. Like I have to have all the dishes washed. I have to have the countertops wiped down. I just cannot cook in a unclean kitchen. Like even if there's dishes in the sink, I just want them all put away because I might need to use it when I'm cooking, and I don't want to have to stop and then also I have a routine when I do cook. I clean as I go, so I don't leave it. I don't compile a bunch of mess on top of mess. So that's a routine. That's something that I naturally do without any thought because it just keeps things going. It doesn't hold me up. And then some of those routines, and I have a routine that I had to strategize about, and that was my work routine, so that I can embed some time for that SQL programming, the goal that I just went over in a moment ago. And that actually was something that I had to strategize about, along with my day to day routine of the things that I do by the hour, like going to the gym in the morning from 5 to 7 o'clock, after school, helping my son with his homework time, spending some time on and making sure I embed time to earn the supplementary money. And then you have some habits that some of the routines that I established, I could change, I could make them into a habit if I've done it consistently, and to where it just becomes so natural to where I don't have to think about it. Like waking up in the morning, that's a habit, of getting myself together, different things that I do. The habit of cleaning up the kitchen prior to cooking, that is now a habit. So a lot of routines can become a habit, but not all routines are habits. So that's what this statement was kind of going into, and how you can use those to cultivate and build stronger willpower that's going to help me with self-discipline and as well as achieving my goal. And then last week, I was spending a lot of time since Mother's Day weekend. When I went out of town, I did a budget and I shared that on a previous video. So if you haven't watched it, please go back and tune in to watch that because I share a lot of different things along the way. So even though I'm giving you my progress on my May monthly goals, I do share different things, just like these statements here, knowledgeable things that I go in more detail in on previous videos. But after doing the budget on Mother's Day and realizing that I went over budget, then it prompted me to just question myself. Well, I wonder how I've been doing with spending money on certain items. So I actually went back and tracked my expenses, and I was appalled to realize that I spent over close, I think it was close to, you have to go back and watch the video. I can't quite remember. I have it on one of these sticky notes here because I actually went through and I wrote them all down from my bank account online, because most of the time I use my card, which is a great thing because I can now go back and track what I use my money on versus taking cash out and using money. But I was appalled because I think it was like close to $2,000. And I'm like, what? That was a lot of money just spending on the items that I jotted down: food, gas. That's outside of my bills, things that I have to pay. So it prompted me to wonder, like, man, I really need to start tracking my spending better. And I need to really, I do budget, but I guess I'm not sticking to my budget or realizing that I have this excess money that I could probably put towards saving. So this came from all of that. Realize, going through the motion and the progress um finances and budgeting and tracking my spending, I came across this statement that says, pay yourself first. So, and it just it stuck out to me when I actually read it on one of the previous videos, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be my resonating statement for this week, because this is something that I would want to study, read, and meditate on as often as possible. Just remind myself that I need to pay myself first. When I work those hours on whatever it is that I'm doing to earn money, the hours, and I could at least, yeah, they're paying me, but of course I know I have bills to pay, but I want to pay myself first. I want to pay myself first through savings. So prioritize savings before spending, so it becomes a non-negotiable part of your budget. This means setting aside a predetermined amount of savings or investment immediately after receiving income, rather than waiting to see what's left at the end of the month. And I honestly have been waiting until what's left at the end of the month. And then, to be honest, with all the frivolous spending that I've done, you could guess right that there's probably not much left at the end of the month to put towards spending. So I need to prioritize spending and say that it's a non-negotiable. Like, it is the first thing I have to do. And I'll rework my budget, and I'll actually share it with you guys. And then I'll track my progress on my savings as well, just so as an example to see how things can actually grow. Because I already know that it's going to grow, because I'm actually going to I'm going to put it in one of those high yield savings account or something that earns interest. So it's not just based off of what I put in there, it's actually going to be earning interest. So those are just my ideas of what I would choose to do. Goal number 6 is to implement discipline in all areas of my life. So the first week, I focused on implementing discipline in the areas of my mind. So I was able to do that mentally by prioritizing self-care, taking my 2 walk breaks during work each day, just to help myself relax and rejuvenate, reflecting on being grateful for things that I've overcome in my past and where I'm at in my present. I've maintained my gym routine, which has helped me improve my overall well-being. I've also limited social media and turned off notifications on my phone, which is something that I've done for some time now, just not just this week, but it was great to note it there. That limiting social media and turning off notifications on my phone has helped me with having a better control on when and what I choose to enter into my ear gate and my eye gate, just things that I'm watching. Because a lot of things that it can play a toll on your mental state if it's, you just have to know yourself. I just know for me, it just helps me. Career wise, I was using my work log and my priority list to help monitor my progress on assigned tasks. That's helping me to better manage my time and then also track my productivity. Finances, I've talked about that with budgeting for the Mother's Day weekend. This past weekend, the wedding weekend, I actually budgeted for that. This has helped me with being more proactive versus reactive to the cost of traveling, as well as Mother's Day expense. And I'm looking forward to continuing to implement discipline in areas of finance, because I am, with the traveling that I'm doing, I definitely need to open up those different savings, like for travel, for emergency fund, and then just personal. And then I'll probably even open up a third or fourth one just for my own retirement savings, like an IRA, Roth, or investments, or anything, of that matter. So that'll help me a lot when it comes to finances. Goal number. So again, last week I focused on how to implement discipline in the area of my body. So physically, of course, the gym. I have attended the gym. I started back on my routine of going to the gym as of April 27th. When I first started these videos, I have been on my schedule. I have gotten back on the routine of going to the gym each day, and I have maintained that. And then practicing healthy eating. I've been sticking to my low carb, low calorie, and high protein diet, each day this week I've taken walk breaks and went to the gym in the mornings. Now, I did say in the previous video on the wedding, I did kind of partake in some things that I wouldn't normally partake in. And my weigh-in on this past Sunday still was pretty good. It was still below my projected weight, but I just wonder how far it would have been down more if I would have stuck to my low carb, low calorie, high protein diet, because I partaked in several alcoholic beverages. I think it was about 4 cups of alcoholic beverages that I drank at the wedding. Then they had a cup of banana pudding, strawberry cake in a cup. I had that. I actually had, did I have? No, I just had one. Yeah, I had one banana pudding, 1 cup of strawberry cake, and then I also had a wedding cake along with the alcohol. Those are all not a part of the diet. But the rice, that was pretty good. The chicken, that was pretty good. The string beans, those were pretty good. So I could have very well stuck to my diet, because they had bottled water. I started off drinking that, but I did kind of have that day. But however, overall, I have been implementing and sticking to the low carb, low calorie, and high protein diet. And I continue taking my walk breaks and going to the gym in the mornings. Recreation wise, that to me, it talks about your activities that you engage in. I actually engaged in activities related to my 6 goals for this month. So I would say that's been discipline. For example, gym, earning secondary income, budgeting. And then I also took a day off of work to get some rest. So I feel like that's like work-life balance. It's talk about recreational activities, things that you may do outside of work. So giving myself that time to rest outside of work was a much needed discipline area. And then organization wise, I use calendars on my phone and at work. So I have a work calendar where all the different meetings I have to attend, and like I even blocked off time on my calendar now. That first hour, I actually put it on my calendar and I put that I'm busy during that first hour of work, so I can dedicate that to my education, like any education that once I finish the sequel, I can move on to some other education. So I have that on there for it doesn't have an end date. Every single day, Monday through Friday, the first hour is going to be dedicated towards education. And then if anything comes up where I have to attend, like normally on Tuesdays, there's something that I have at 9. I'll still be able to use those 30 minutes because I go to work at 8:30. So I'll still be able to use those 30 minutes. But for the most part, now that it's blocked on my calendar, it will deter people from scheduling anything around that time. And most of the time, I try not to schedule anything at the first part of my schedule because I'm just getting in. I'm kind of getting warmed up, probably get my cup of coffee, whatever the case may be, and just kind of easing my way in. So normally I won't have meetings so early like that. But I definitely use my phone is used for my personal calendar. Like if I have appointments, if I'm going out of town for the weekend, different events coming up, all types of things. I even track my menstrual cycle on my phone calendar. I even have part of my routine schedule that I'm working towards embedding more into, because I do have some other supplementary incomes or other endeavors as far as what I want to do. And some time ago, I had made my routine of what time I was going to spend on those things that I will be progressing to get back to. So I also use an Excel sheet at work to track my work log and show progress. I have like pivot tables. I have nice little pivot graphs that show all types of nice visuals of productivity. This week, I'll be looking at implementing discipline in all areas of my heart, as far as relationships, emotional, social. And then the last week of this month, I'll be looking at implementing discipline in my soul, as far as character, purpose, and spirituality. So here are my May goals again. And out of them so far, I've check marked 1 out of 6. And if all goes to plan, which I'm trying very hard, goal number 3 should be a check. Maybe before the end of the month, I would have already lost 10 pounds. Because if you watch the weigh-in video from this Sunday, I shared that I actually weighed myself Saturday. It was actually Saturday, the day before the day that I weighed in. I weigh in on Saturday. So Saturday, March the 17th, I weighed myself prior to leaving to go to the wedding, and I was at 228.4 pounds, which was already below my goal weight for this month. But I went and I did whatever. So I like to do that sometimes just so I can see how the different foods that I eat affect. So I can actually see that it bumped me up 4 pounds. Like partaking in that alcohol and those sweets. Because if I was 228.4 and then I came back and so that's like 3.6 pounds that I lost. And that's normally what I've noticed in the past, because you got to think about sodium. When you partake in sodium, it retains water, and then sugar does things to you. It kind of stays in your gut. And I need to do more research on those things. And then I'm sure alcohol, you know, and then now I didn't partake in any. Well, I gotta cancel that out. I did partake in bread because a part of the cake is bread. So that's high carbs, sugar. Yep. So all those things probably make me retain 3 pounds of weight or water or whatever the case may be of how it's processed in your body. So I'm saying that to say is that if I was already at 228 before the wedding, now that I'm stabilizing myself back on my eating habit, which is low carb, low calorie, low diet, or low high protein, the weight would come off easily. Those 3 pounds would come off easily because it was just that one day. And so when I stabilize myself, normally I see those pounds go back off. So I'm interested to know. I'm looking forward to this upcoming Sunday just to see where I'm at. And plus, I don't have any more weekend engagements for the rest of this month, so I'm able to really, really keep my head down into what my goal is as far as my weight. And then also goal number 2, I get paid this week. So the 22nd is the date that I've set out to pay the remaining balance of $922 on this credit card. So this should be soon being checked off. So I should have 2 more that are able to check off. And I think the other 3 are going to be something. Of course, 5 and 6 will. And definitely goal number 1, because as you can see, I still have some things to do. I still have some remaining money to make, $800 and something to make on that. So I'll at least have 3 out of 6. So 50% of my goals I'm aiming to get done prior to, the last day of this month. But the other ones, it might be up until that last part of the month before I see that I've actually met it. However, this is the end of this video. I've given you my progress on how I've done thus far on each of my goals, embedded with some experiences that I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, feel free to comment below, like, subscribe, so that you can watch all of the different videos and get notification of when I upload new videos. Until next time, y'all have a nice day. Bye.